Welcome to another installment of This Is Not Normal on the Political Drain podcast with Drill Sergeant Doug, aka Admin Doug, a U.S. Army veteran, teacher, musician, and family man from Jamaica, now fights for justice and democracy through commentary and humor. Follow him on YouTube at Political Drain and at Sons of Liberty Official as Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug, continues to protect our freedoms.
Chick-fil-A doesn't get to do Chick-fil-A things because I spent $17 there feeding myself and a homeless guy that happened to be there. Chick-fil-A gets to do Chick-fil-A things because the energy that the left and progressives should be spending on organizing is instead expended policing other leftists and progressives for petty transgressions.
What's up, Family Liberty? Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug here. And it has come to my attention that we on the political left in this country still require training on exactly 3 subjects. 1, the true nature of cowardice. The true nature of cowardice on the political left. That means anything politically left of MAGA. Call it what you want. 2, developing the discipline necessary to take honest self-assessment as it pertains to one's performance and mental state regularly, and the discipline required to make adjustments as necessary. And 3, strategy. Understanding political strategy, minus personal feelings, to gain a desired outcome. So the true nature of cowardice, especially on the left, is that it can disguise itself as bravery. It can disguise itself as activism or even allyship. You see, cowardice on the left usually shows up in the form of attacking the point of least resistance. That's right. That's right. It's not about calling out the fascists. It's about calling out the people who aren't left enough, because that's the point of least resistance. But another sign of this same cowardice is the ease with which you can say that both sides are the same. It's easy to say that. It's shrinking away from responsibility at that point when you think it's calling it out. You think it's allyship. You think it's brave to say that. When the truth is, it just requires more work. It requires more work to find out who on the other side you can push when you get them there. Let me show you something.
Chick-fil-A doesn't get to do Chick-fil-A things because I spent $17 there feeding myself and a homeless guy that happened to be there. Chick-fil-A gets to do Chick-fil-A things because the energy that the left and progressives should be spending on organizing is instead expended policing other leftists and progressives for petty transgressions. Here, let me show you something depressing. This is a map of Turning Point USA chapters in high schools all across the country. There are 900 of them, more than 900 of them, and many of them are in blue, highly populated areas. As we chuckle at them arguing at each other at their conference, the conference is underpinned by this. The left and progressives don't have anything like this. Instead, what we've got is my afternoon snack being characterized as high treason by someone who is lending their eyeballs to TikTok, which is owned by the biggest donors of the most openly anti-trans president, perhaps in history.
Yeah, that should be uncomfortable because in that map, he didn't show you the whole thing. That map was this one. And there's a reason why I'm showing you this first. That's the Midwest. Here's the eastern portion of the United States. And all of those blue spaces, those are blue cities or counties. Here's the western part of the nation. Here's California. Do you notice a pattern? The Midwest is already red. That's why they go to the other places. This brings us to number 3, which is strategy. The goal is winning. In order to get a base in New Jersey, you have to accept 1 or 2 gay people to come in and call them log cabin. You have to accept that some people are going to think a little bit differently about the racism than you do, but that's all right. Instead of going to where the least resistance is, you find them where the most resistance is, because that's how they've been growing, and they started young up until what you see now. Now, they're a different type of coward, but that's why I said cowardice on the left works this way. It's easy to be on a high horse because we are correct. That's why. They have to infiltrate in a way that's deceptive because they're evil. On the left, Most of what we think is decency for all, making things better for all, free healthcare for all, helping people get a one-up, helping the marginalized. These are decent, honest, noble things. And so it's easy to be a coward on the left by going at people who will resist you least. That's why. That's why these assessments must be made, because we're all human beings. Hopefully the point has been made by that map, understanding the strategy, where you need to be fighting. The last thing is, I was at the DNC in Chicago. I had an experience. I was there to cover it. I stayed outside because there was a Palestinian protest going on out there, and I wanted to know what they were thinking. And this type of cowardice that displays itself as activism or bravery because it attacks the point of least resistance and finds it good. I found a direct correlation to the same type of foolishness that we're doing still. The training is still necessary. So before I get there, though, it's important that you understand, if you see somebody like Huey Newton, when he was with the people who were wearing the Confederate flag on their hat, and you see them join together in solidarity, shut up! If you see a blue mark pop up in a high school that's pro this and pro that, and they call themselves liberal, but you're a leftist, shut up! Go there. That's what we learned with TPUSA. And when they go to those places where they know they're not wanted, they know that they're going to have to get over it so they can build the numbers. And eventually everybody else will come around. Shut up. Shut up. If you think they're both the same, both sides are the same, and you don't see that one is fascist and the other is just human, and you need to be pushing them this way, then shut up. Shut up. Or fight. This documentary that I took in Chicago at the DNC, I'm going to even put the thing here so you can go see the full thing itself. But this part of it is about 10 minutes to know what self-assessment looks like and be prepared for the next step of this fight and how to bring it to the right people. This will show you and teach you how to do that. But you're going to want to see this. Watch. Political Drain, what's your name?
Ariel.
Ariel?
I'm AJ.
AJ?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you guys. So I see Free Palestine, no more tax dollars for genocide, funded by the Biden admin. Do you know anything about Jared Kushner and in the last Trump presidency that he was the one to help broker these deals that are now fueling these wars, trying to eradicate Palestinians to use their land for luxury homes, for places for kings to reside.
In Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable.
What do you say to also marching on at Mar-a-Lago or at their place?
Yeah, and we can have, I'll do a quick answer and you can answer this too. But I think this kind of fuels back to that other question, right? It's like, yes, I mean, would I love to protest Trump? I would love to protest Trump and not rally for so many other things, right?
Yeah.
Give me abortion, give me healthcare, give me all the down with Project 2025. But I think that's the whole point, right? Is that we aren't his constituents. Right? Is that I would never vote for Trump. I've never voted for Trump. I'm not going to vote for Republican probably my whole lifetime. And it's almost like, what would necessarily be the point in that?
What would be the point in that?
We could stand aside a Starbucks, we could stand aside Amazon, we could be protesting every single person, but when you are organizing a movement, the point is having, it's organizing, right? There's really specific targeted things and ways to target an event, and I think what a lot of us are thinking is yes, could we go to Mar-a-Lago and protest? Absolutely. But is that going to be, the best use of our resources? If they don't really care, they're not really going to listen to us anyway.
They're not going to listen to us anyway. Huh? If you think that fighting against the other side, that showing them your disdain will never move them, then why did we march in the civil rights movement?
Our strategy in going into Birmingham was to have daily demonstrations
that dramatized for the nation what was the nature of segregation. So we'd have a small group going down and picketing the lunch counter.
But Birmingham is a city under siege, ruled by a strict segregationist, Chief of Public Safety Bull Connor.
Who did they march against? Where did they march? You see, when they went to the Capitol building to march in Martin Luther King's day, they went to march against all of them, both sides, at the place where they reside and do their business, not at the DNC. Because what now you have is a DNC full of this.
From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the sea to the river. From the sea to the river. Palestine will live forever. Palestine will live forever. From the river to
And the RNC with nothing. They're so used to not listening to you because you've never spoken to them. Because you think that marching against people who are already against you won't get you anything. That's not called fighting. That's called a peaceful walk in the park with really loud speakers. And I don't think that's what you mean it to be. And that's another thing. Here, the biggest problem I have is everyone's lack of an actual end goal. Listen to these responses when I ask them, what is it they really want? And do they have any suggestions on how to actually get there, besides just protesting at the DNC, the only people who could help them, or they could ally with to fight the real enemy? How far have they thought ahead on this?
What is the top three? Or because there's 100, but achievable, most important goal if Kamala, after her speech tonight, comes down and says, talk to me, what is it that I can do realistically, a goal that we could meet?
I think that's hard because we don't represent the whole movement, right? There are a lot of
No, well, just you, because I've also interviewed other people, and I'm kind of just getting a feel for it. So when this goes out, we also know what to be talking about when we're on our channel.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess for me personally, thinking about all of this, in especially regards to Palestine, an arms embargo to help Palestine, right? But also decrease funding for the military, because there is so much funding going towards the military. We're spending billions of dollars to be able to kill Palestinians. Oh, that's somebody. Is this your family?
No, I don't know who they are.
I thought you were waving to them.
No, I was telling. Okay.
And so it's easy to be a coward on the left by going at people who will resist you least.
Okay, but yeah, so I guess arms embargo, reinvest the money from the military into our communities. Let's get free healthcare, right? Let's get better schooling. Let's protect abortion.
Wait a minute. All of these things, every one of these things that you say is the end goal for your protest is being actively fought for by the person you're protesting. How is that your end goal to this protest?
But again, I'm not necessarily a reformist. I'm not trying to fix what's broken here. I would abolish it completely and start all over.
How would you do that?
Oh, bro, I'm also a retired school teacher. You're gonna have to take my class. It would take weeks and weeks and a whiteboard for me to explain it. So we would have to start. You're talking about a whole reconstruction of everything, and I think there's baby steps towards that. But she's not going to do that.
Right.
She's not. If she gets it, she's not going to do it. It's going to be business as usual, bombs as usual. I mean, some things might change, but not instantaneous. Some things might, but not all the way, man.
So the baby steps. If we can't, we know that there's really nothing that could change it instantaneously, right? What would be something that she could say or do, or anyone up there could say or do, that would say, okay, that's a baby step I can work toward. That's something I could say we're on our way there? Or is it just impossible?
Back with that one.
Hi. The only thing is I've been watching the DNC, I've been listening to the speeches, and they're very pro-woman, they are very pro the people, they're very pro for the working class. I have yet to really hear about any type of accountability of what's going on in Palestine.
And she is working tirelessly to secure a ceasefire in Gaza and bringing hostages home.
We must end this horrific war in Gaza. Bring home the hostages and demand an immediate ceasefire.
With respect to the war in Gaza, President Biden and I are working around the clock because now is the time to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done. At the same time, what has happened in Gaza over the past 10 months is devastating. So many innocent lives lost. Desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety over and over again. The scale of suffering is heartbreaking. President Biden and I are working to end this war such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination.
Any of these candidates were sitting in the Oval Office, the call to Israel's leadership would not be one of restraint, but escalation.
The first thing I said to him when it happened was I said, finish them.
Prime Minister Netanyahu, not only do you have the responsibility and the right to wipe Hamas off of the map, we will support you.
There seemed to be a consensus on cracking down on colleges that allow pro-Palestinian protests, potentially cutting off their funding and kicking foreign students out of the country if they participate.
But another sign of this same cowardice is the ease with which you can say that both sides are the same. It's easy to say that. It's shrinking away from responsibility at that point when you think it's calling it out. You think it's allyship. You think it's brave to say that. When the truth is, it just requires more work. It requires more work to find out who on the other side you can push when you get them there.
I mean, this was really amazing. Well organized, nonviolent, civil protest. Okay, civil disobedience. But the main thing that I think every one of these protesters, at least the ones that I interviewed, are forgetting is that in order to win the fight, you have to take the fight to the enemy and build alliances where you are. But if you're afraid, or if you think that marching against those people will get you nowhere with them, then you've forgotten the point of peaceful protest. It's not to get anywhere with them. It's to put yourself in a dangerous place so that the cameras can see it. So that when others see how much you mean by what you say and how what has been done to these people means to you and how far the other side is willing to go to get rid of you, when the hoses get turned on you and the dogs get turned on you, when the jail cells become an everyday occurrence when you're marching because the people you're marching against don't already agree with you, that's when the change happens. All of the Democrats who are getting paid by Israeli
money would have a much better chance of getting what you wanted if they didn't need that money to get elected. On the other hand, all of the Republicans have a religious belief that Palestinians need to die, that Israel needs to be expanded, and they don't need any money to support it. They're already in support of it. They hate them. And if they didn't have to fight against them, they, meaning the Democratic Party, have to fight against them because they have been so shamed by your outrage, by your protests that got televised. And those people have a better chance of actually doing what you want. They already want to. I promise you, they already do. There's at least half that already do. They just have a very thin line to walk because politics is nuanced, it's hard, and they also like to fix roads and get health care and help the LGBTQ community and Black people and Native Americans and have people eat food in school when they're poor. There are a lot of things that they need, and the line has to be walked. We can be smarter about our demonstrations. That's the end all. That's the end goal. Because if it's not, then yeah, this is the least you can do. Also, direct action means maybe you need to be throwing some dildos. I didn't say throwing, I'm sorry, holding, playing. The dildo distribution people, yeah. You haven't seen them? Go to closertotheedge.com. I'm going to put the link in there that shows you the whole thing that they're doing. It's amazing. But they're using these, and they've got thousands of them now because they realize that they're so effective at warding off these ICE agents at Whipple in Minneapolis. And now around the nation, they're giving these away to people. They're passing them out because that absurdity in the face of this toxic masculinity seems to be the one thing that gets these ICE agents to back off. It actually works. So I want to help them get those donations for the thousands that they've bought. Also, the thousands were donated to them as well. But for the ones that they bought, they need to get that money back, and they need to keep this going because it's working. If nothing else, just to piss off those ICE agents. Email me, politicaldrain@proton.me. politicaldrain@proton.me. You email me, say, I want to donate, and I will give you the instructions on how to do so, because the time to fight is now. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads. It's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works.
That was the Political Drain podcast, which can be heard on www.groovechillradio.com/political-drain and can be viewed on the Political Drain YouTube channel anytime. Once again, thank you for listening to Groove Chill as we resist fascism in any form, pursue democracy, peace, and love.